This team needs to look different. It needs to look different. It needs to look different soon. The Yankees have just fallen out of first place after having a 7-game lead about 2 weeks ago, and I guess they need to be kicking the teeth like this in order to figure out how the hell they're going to get out of it. So Clark Schmidt might be missing some time. We'll see. They had to take him out of the game. So if you haven't heard, forearm tightness, which is generally precursor to an issue in a pitching arm. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Consigliere, there he is. So they made a small signing today, signing Nicky Lopez, versatile infielder. Maybe this means Oswald Peraza is going to be traded. But as of right now, we already know they need an infield bat. We already know they need probably 2 relievers. Now they probably need a starting pitcher too. So we'll see what happens here. What do you know, Ken? What do you know, man? This is a tough pill to swallow. Like I said, maybe they needed to be kicked in the teeth like this to really see what they're made of. Right? They're going back to New York now to play the Mets. So, Kyle, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't blame you, Kyle. I don't blame you for being pissed. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Can't blame you for being pissed. But this is a much better team than I thought, Toronto. They're contact, they're relentless, and they wear out pitchers. We have to wait and see now. The Yankees have moves they need to make. They need to move, and it's already a bad enough day with what happened earlier today. So, yeah. Thank you for the super chat, David Cohen, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. No idea what Boone is going to say. Do I call up Jones? Well, Jones spent like 440. He's murdering the ball in AAA. The only way you call up Jones is if you're going to DH Jason Dominguez. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. That way you can get both of them in the lineup, but that means you're going to have to sit Stanton. Are they okay with that? I don't know. Right? I would rather have Dominguez batting behind Judge. I would have him and either Bellinger or him, Bellinger and Jazz, something like that batting. I want it because since these pitchers like can intentionally walk Judge, I'd rather have the hottest hitters batting right after him to make it much harder for them to intentionally walk Aaron Judge. I mean, that's what I would do. Well, Springer's been kryptonite for us. He's been murdering us this year. Murdering us. So this wasn't Boone today, right? The pitching didn't have it. I've said this for weeks now, right? Clayton Beater needs to lower his walk rate. There were so many people calling for Clayton Beater to come up, thinking it was going to be a solution. He needed to lower his walk rate before he comes up. What did he do today? He walked his first guy. First thing he did was he got a guy on base, then he gave up a hit, and then he gave up a home run. Right? He's got a big arm, but he needs to lower the walk rate. My guess is he's going to get optioned out again today because he threw out 40-something pitches. So I would expect to see probably Scotty Frost back up here. Right? That's my guess. Gonna be a quiet playing, right? Yeah, and they got to come back and go through customs, and they got to play a day game tomorrow against the friggin' Mets. I think it's at 3:00. So, yeah. My guess is Dominguez will be in the lineup. Yeah. Yeah, Luis Ortiz be investigated for getting. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They did nothing to Otani. He's the money. He's the money. The money maker for Major League Baseball. So they got to protect the cash cow. And the Mets do suck right now. So Petruzzi, what's going on, man? Talk out. Look. Yankees got swept. It sucks. They're now out of first place. It sucks. Yes, and there's potential they might lose Clark Schmidt. Yes, but they've been here before and they've come back before. So Me personally, I'm not walking off the ledge yet. It's too early for that. Too early for that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Dominguez is 4 for 5. It was better, but again, like if you call up Spencer Jones and you have to, then you're gonna have to DH Dominguez because you're gonna have to get Spencer Jones out of the field. You do not sit an elite glove like that. No. My guess is Efrost will probably be the move that they make for. My guess, Beater's gonna get optioned out, and Efrost will be back. I think probably gonna see Alan Winans maybe once or twice more before Schlittler gets a shot. If Winans doesn't get better, then I think we'll see Schlittler. No, they can call Cam, but I think they're going to give Winans another chance first. Well, they put uh, Clark Schmidt was pulled today because he's a forearm problem. He might be hurt. But if you have 100 pitches through 4 innings, yeah, you need to be out there. You got to get out of that game. And yeah, the bullpen did kill us. But I mean, the bullpen just got their asses kicked. And this is, our start. We had a couple of bad starts from starters too, so our pitching did not help. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see. Uh, we'll see what they're gonna do with the lineup. I'm not sure they're gonna call up Jones just yet. We don't know. It's too early to tell. They're gonna run some tests on Clark Schmidt and see. They'll check his form. Generally, tightness in the form usually leads to a UCL or an elbow thing. So, and I don't know if you remember him, but when they drafted him, he had Tommy John right after they drafted him, Clark Schmidt. So, he's not familiar. He's not a stranger to Tommy John. He's already had it once. No, he might be out for. Is that? Did you see that? Is that confirmed, Mike? Kyle, thank you for the super chat too, my man. Our last one did come with Stroman. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Is he on the mound tomorrow against the Mets? Ryan McMahon. Yeah, I did see that. Look, if you're going to go after Ryan McMahon, you got to go after Jake Bird or one of those relievers too. Seth Halverson. You're gonna have to do a double whammy. They're at the point now where they're gonna have to make multiplayer trades. They're gonna have to, right? If they're going to salvage the season and they want to continue to fight back, they're going to have to make multiplayer trades. I know people like Eugenio Suarez, but he does nothing to help the pitching. He does not move the needle enough for us to not need pitching. I don't know if they're going to light Stroman up. We might light. Well, let's see what pitches tomorrow. Yankees Mets tomorrow. It's at 3:10 p.m. Tomorrow's matchup is. That's not even out yet. The matchup's not even out yet. Okay. Let's check Saturdays. Is that out? It'd be kind of weird if Saturdays was out. Saturdays is out, but yet tomorrow's is not. Rodon versus Frankie Montez on Saturday. And then Sunday, my guess is going to be Stroman tomorrow. And then, Sundays is the only Saturday's matchup is out right now. It's probably going to be Freed on Sunday. My guess is going to be Stroman tomorrow. Stroman, Rodon, and Freed, most likely. The lineups are not out yet. The pitching matchup's not yet, Tiffany, but my guess is going to be Marcus Stroman. I also did hear that Clay Holmes is going to pitch against us, so I do think they'll make the playoffs, Nathaniel, yeah. Yeah, Suarez has power, but again, he doesn't move the needle enough for us to not need pitching. There is no batter that moves the needle enough for us to forget about pitching. Accountability. That this talking point keeps being. What kind of accountability do you want? Hmm? What kind of accountability do you want? Well, right now it looks like we're going to be out three of our starters from last year. So, and yeah, I do think we'll make the playoffs, Nathaniel. I doubt the Yankees will be sellers. I'd be shocked if they were sellers. Bringing John, the only way it makes sense to call up Spencer Jones is if you're DHing Dominguez or you're moving. Yeah, I mean, or moving Cody Bellinger to first base, but then that means you're going to have to sit Stanton or Goldschmidt, one way or the other. Unless they decide to do that, then they do that. Right? Yorbit Vivas. Yeah, Soto did move the needle, but yeah, he's not moving the needle right now for the Mets either. So I think. Well, I mean, I'm confident we win tomorrow too, Tiffany. Like, they need to win. They need to win. You know, my guess still play Dominguez more. I would play him right. I would bat him right behind Judge at this point. That way, it's harder to intentionally walk Aaron Judge. And you have to pitch to Judge because you're not going to want to pitch to Dominguez with multiple guys on base, right? That's what I would do. Of course, nobody can tell you otherwise. Yeah. Yes, I'm surprised too, Lorenzo. Luke Weaver is not the same since he came back off the IL. So Luke Weaver's not the same, right? But again, he might not be back after this year either. Just like Devin Williams. They, Brian Hayes and David Bednar from. I mean, that could be a multiplayer trade, or John Duran from the Twins, and maybe what's the guy's name? Willie Castro or Xavier Edwards from the Marlins, and one of those relievers there. Or you get an arm and a bat. Something like that has to happen. I think they're going to need to make at least one multiplayer trade to address multiple holes. So yeah, Weaver might have been done in by his injury. He's not the same since. Remember, he had injury issues before he came to the Yankees, so this isn't new. Yeah, well, exactly too, Jennifer. You're 100% right. Yeah, no, I've said that too. Beater had to work on his control and his walk rate before he was called up. Right? They had lack of options right now too, and the teams are not going to go out of their way to help the Yankees either. They know the Yankees are in a bind, so they're going to try to extort the Yankees in trades. That's just the way that it is. That's how teams do. That's how teams operate. And GMs operate. So, we- yeah, 2 years from now, I don't know. We'll see what happens, Matt. Rumors clear. I'd be shocked if they sold Jose Ramirez, but I wonder what it would cost to get Jose Ramirez. You're gonna have to give up a lot for him. Somebody like that, probably Melro Kelly or Eduardo Cabrera from the Marlins, Brandon. Something like that, probably. I think they need to bat like the hot bats, kind of in sequential order. You know, Schmidt will go for him. Or yeah, I mean, that's obvious. Yeah, which is the right thing to do. Jack, I mean, Ramirez from Cleveland. You're gonna have to send Dominguez or Jones to get Jose Ramirez. minimum. Just know that now. Or maybe Lombard. Know that now. Okay? Same team you can. God bless, brother, man. Yeah, scouts and beat writers hyped up Volpe to through the roof, man. Yeah. Peraza's out of options, huh? Tough. You have to put him on waivers or release him or trade him. They're looking to trade him to get some type of value back from him. That's why they can't option him. They can't DFA him. They'll get somebody. They'll get a pitching prospect or something for Peraza. They'll get something. No. Don't be surprised if look, if the Yankees quietly shot Volpe, but they're going to have a replacement for him. We don't have the replacement for him right now. So that's going to have to be part of the calculus too. The only way you trade Dominguez is if you get somebody like one of those Mariners pitchers or Skeens or Jose Ramirez. Those are the only moves that even justify considering moving Dominguez. Yeah. They're going to have to make some meaningful trades. You got that right, Clemenza. Yeah. But like Hal's got to, you know, he's got to take got to loosen up the strings on Cashman, man. He's vetoed him a couple times the last couple deadlines. So, um, yeah, if Volpe gets moved, who in the world do we put it short? That's the question that nobody seems to be able to answer. We don't have somebody here. Lombard is nowhere near ready. So that's not an answer. That's not the solution. It's he cut it in half before he got promoted to AAA, Matt, and he's batting like 450 in AAA right now. And again, his strikeout rate is not going to mean dick. If he goes 30-30, nobody's going to care about his strikeout rate. Nobody. And he gives elite defense too. No one's going to care about the strikeout rate. Look at Adam Dunn. He struck out a lot, batted low batting average. Do hit 460 home runs in his career. 460 home runs, man. And he wasn't a super freak athlete like Spencer Jones is. He will. They've already said that they want to move Jazz to second, but they need to get somebody who can actually handle third, credibly, who can actually move and do the things that they need. They're not the A's are not. The Athletics are not going to trade Wilson, unfortunately. Why would they? He's going to be one of their young building blocks. Yeah, Dunn was big time farm boy strong, and you don't really see power like Spencer Jones that often in the game. Spencer Jones has light tower power, and he's got Ellie De La Cruz speed, which is a freaking scary combination. If they trade Grisham, then I can see Spencer Jones being called up. If they trade Grisham, but why would they trade Grisham now? He's doing pretty well with the Yankees. But again, just like Jones, um, Suarez, neither one of these guys helps their pitching. Schmidt got pulled out of the game, you're seeing, with forearm tightness in his pitching arm. So they're getting an MRI done tomorrow. He got taken out, I think, after 3 innings. So I want to keep Trent Grisham around just because he has a Tom Selleck mustache. Looks like Magnum PI, dude. And Reggie Jackson. Magnum PI with the little fro. Like, come on, baby. Come on. We're not in first. We're out of first now. One game out. Yep. Toronto took over first place tonight. Yep. Yeah. Our this and I've said this like when the offense sucks, the pitching is good. When the pitching sucks, the offense is good. That's one of the unfortunate recipes right now with the Yankees, especially with all the injuries. Dusty Baker would not have changed Clark Schmidt's injury. Firing Aaron Boone doesn't change the roster construction at all. I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees. Well, it really depends on if they how they feel about Cam Schlittler and how they feel about Luis Hill, who hasn't started his rehab assignment yet. So he's probably not going to be here until late July, maybe. No, Jays have a much more. They have a deeper lineup. They do. They do. That would never happen, Joe. But I like the idea. Goldschmidt, Volpe, and Will Warren for Spencer Steer and El De La Cruz. The Rays would. I mean, the Reds would. They'd hang up the phone and probably laugh at us. But I like it. I like that idea. Yeah, man, Springer was on fire. He was on fire. Yeah, whatever. Like if Judge is third, I would bet Dominguez fourth right now. If Judge is fourth, I would bet Dominguez fifth. If Judge is second, I would bet Dominguez third. Right now, I would have him immediately behind Judge. He's got the hot bat, man. I don't have any feeling about the Mets series. I just want to win 2 out of 3. Both teams are reeling right now. They're not. Neither team is playing well. So we're both. It'll be a fun series, but I just want to win 2 out of 3 games. Yeah, the Jays have done well in center field. Yes, they have. Grisham is a free agent at the end of the year. He is. I doubt they're going to trade Goldschmidt. He'll also be a free agent at the end of the year. So Luke Weaver's just not the same right now. Late July, Jennifer. That's what we're hearing. Late July, beginning of August for Luis Hill. He hasn't started a rehab assignment yet. He threw 35 pitches today in Somerset, New Jersey, but he hasn't officially started his rehab assignment. Usually, when you start your rehab assignment, it's about 3 to 4 weeks after that. Miss Springer he killed us this series. He absolutely killed us. So, but it's I mean they have to put the series behind us now, and now it's time to focus on the Mets, and that's it. That's it. That's what they have to do. If Bellinger opts in, then maybe he goes to. Well, it depends on if it really depends on if Goldschmidt comes back or not. But I'm less confident that he comes back now. Does Hal give him the authorization to get at DeGrom or Peralta as the key? Hal's got to open up the purse strings in order to do that. Yeah, Varshaw's coming back. Yeah, Dalton Varshaw. So and they didn't even have Santander either. So Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, if Schmidt goes down for an extended period of time, and then we're relying on Hill, and we're gonna have to rely on like either Winans or Schlittler. And if they don't want to rely on them, then they're gonna have to make a trade for a pitcher. So, but um if Schmidt goes down, he's gonna miss time. I think they're gonna trade for a pitcher before the deadline. I did see that too. The Royals are trying to trade for Brian Reynolds. That'd be a good trade for the Royals. Yeah, I mean, Winans is up here now. He's gonna have to be better the second time, better than he was the first. But Schlittler has better stuff than Winans, but we'll see. Yep. Yeah, well, we'll have to see. Trade for who? Brandon who? Who's that? Yeah, I put out a short on Nicky Lopez, Jeffy. I put a short on earlier. A defensive first infield. I mean, that may pave the way for them to trade Peraza, right? He's a 30-year-old. He's not really good with his bat, but he's an excellent infield. He was a finalist for the Gold Glove last year in the National League. So 49, yeah, 93. I remember that. Yeah, I don't think the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees are going to pull out the white. Toss in the towel. You know. Sell the team. Sell it to who, Carl? Yorby Vivas? No idea. Tough. No idea. You have to ask them that. Yeah. You know, unfortunately, Paul Skeens isn't being moved anywhere. So, um, Brandon Fad, never heard of him. I gotta look into it. Interesting. Now, somebody's floating Yoan Moncada as an option, but they didn't. They didn't themselves express interest in Moncada. That's being peddled on social media today. So, yeah, I mean, I would hope that Hal wouldn't block Cashman either. Yep. So exactly, if you want to take advantage of these prime years of Judge, you're gonna have to do the things you need to do. You have to do the things you need to do, man. Yep. Yep. I mean, if you can get Willie Castro and John Duran, that's a trade to consider. That doesn't solve all the problems, but that helps. Yeah, they signed Nicky Lopez today. Well, they signed him to a minor league deal, so he's not on the 40-man roster yet. He's got to be put on the 26 in order to be able to play. So, don't be surprised if they trade Peraza, something like that, and Nicky Lopez is up here in short time. Don't be surprised that happens on the next couple weeks. Yeah, man, Springer's he lit our asses up, man. Right? Lit our asses up. If they trade Grisham, then it opens up the path for Spencer Jones. So, but we'll see if they do that. I mean, who knows? They could be doing that. They could be entertaining that, and now his value would be relatively high. Probably send him to a playoff team too. No, but I mean, would they do that or would they call up Everson Pereira? Right? I don't know. But also, you don't call up Spencer Jones if you're not going to play him all the time. You got to play him. No. Yeah. Jones is hitting really good pitches for home runs. He's got 3 already in AAA. So high fastballs, off speed pitches. It's just they're not serving him meatballs over the plate. He had a double off the wall tonight. He had 2-run double. So he's batting like 450 in AAA. You know, well, this year Nicky Lopez is probably a prelude to other moves that are going to be coming. And right now, I'm guessing Cashman's probably on the phone right now, looking to see if there's something they can do. Oh, 100%, Manuel. I would agree. Make meaningful strategic trades, not panic trades. Yeah, the devastating there. It's true. Yeah, like the Yankees got killed by, with the exception of Springer. Some of the other, like Wagner, some of these other Blue Jays kicked their ass too. You know, yeah, if I was sitting anybody, I would sit Volpe tomorrow and play. What do you call it? And play Dominguez. So you figure out what they're gonna do. Yeah, the Blue Jays are very good. They are quietly very good. Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm fine with Stanton. I don't think he should play every day anyway. He needs to rest a couple days a week. Yeah. I think Jones or Pereira happens if they trade Grisham. I don't know if the Braves are going to sell. They don't really seem like sellers. And who the hell would they sell anyway? Yeah, I know. I am seriously, Ken. I know. This is a prime time to get fair weather fan merch out. I know. We make a we make a killing, man. Yo, NFE. I was waiting for NFE because NFE and I are, we're collaborating to work on the fair weather fan merchandise to put people out there. Boone's not the problem here, Camel Toe. Clark Schmidt got pulled. The pitching hasn't been doing their jobs. Why is Fire Boone the answer here? If they had, it doesn't matter who they had the manager. Clark Schmidt would have still been hurt. Doesn't matter, right? Verdugo, yeah, I doubt Verdugo's going to come back here. Now when they have Pereira, now when they have Jones, and they already have 4 outfielders already here, it doesn't make any sense for Verdugo. Well, exactly. Nobody knows who they're going to replace Boone with. Yeah. Michael Madsen, really? Damn. Rest in peace, man. Let's see. Yeah, he did. Wow. May he rest in peace, man. Rest in peace, Madsen. Actor. Saying some of the problems come. You can see some of the problems, but probably not the same problems that everybody else is seeing. Also, a lot of people are, you know, it doesn't matter what the problem is. The answer is fire Boone, fire Boone, fire Boone. That seems to be the answer for so many people, and that dog shit is fed to them by a couple channels on here, constantly trash. Boom, and they can't even explain who to replace him with. Yeah, and Donnie Brasco, he was great in a lot of movies. I did see that the soccer player car accident. He just got married 5 days ago, man. Goodness gracious. Rest in peace, too, man. Fucking terrible. Not right now, Lou. The Blue Jays seem to be the best team in the East. So, but again, best team in July doesn't necessarily mean the best team in September. Best team in October. So we'll have to just wait and see. Based on this, yeah, they gotta, you know, they have to improve this roster in quick time. I'm disappointed too, Effie. Same here, bro. Yeah, I wouldn't lead off Dominguez. I would bat him behind Judge. He's a hot hitter right now. I'd rather him in a position to drive people in. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yeah. Remember the George Steinbrenner New York Yankees? They didn't win a chip for 18 years, 1978 to 1996. It's a longer stretch than this one. People seem to never want to acknowledge that one. When George was the owner, same thing, right? The beloved legend George Steinbrenner, the boss. He had a longer stretch without a ring. Well, the manager does win the big games. The players win the big games. Why are we putting everything on the manager when the players aren't doing their jobs? Hmm? Why has he become a convenient fall guy all the time? Yeah, runners in scoring position. That's not a manager's job, right? Hitting coach needs to help with that. That's the batter's job too. He's not in the he's not on the base pass with him. He's not in the dugout with him. He's not on at the plate with them. So there's a couple of them. I mean, they need to rest the bullpen now, and they need another solidified player at third base. That way, Jazz can be moved back to second. Jazz is just he makes Volpe better at shortstop when he's playing second. He doesn't make him better at shortstop when he plays third. And Volpe needs help with these guys on both sides. Just like I said, Dominguez needs help from the outfielders too to help him defensively. No. Yeah, I mean, the Fire Boone narrative is just so old and it's so weak. We know it's not going to happen right now. So, what do we keep? You know, what are we wasting our time for? Right? Who said he managed the World Series good last year? I didn't say that. It's about how they played. The Dodgers were deeper than the Yankees. Right? Period. I don't talk about the managing in the World Series. I talk about the playing in the World Series. Yeah. The Blue Jays play us hard, man. They play us really hard, man. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about it. We don't know if we could beat the Dodgers yet. Yeah, if we play them again, they're gonna have to see. But I expect our lineup to look different in a couple weeks than it does now. Right now, no. Later, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Yep. Well, they make a couple. They need to make a couple of right moves, Pat. Yeah, the right moves. You get the right players here, and again, just because the expensive players are the expensive player doesn't mean they're the right fits, right? Well, yeah, they need somebody to point at exactly. When the Yankees win, it's about the players. When they lose, it's about Boone. It's just the talking points are so typical every right. And again, you have a couple of channels who peddle this crap all the time, pawn themselves off as these geniuses or connected people. Have sources, right? You don't have dick. Take the bride, Bobby Witt. Probably the end of the world. Probably the end of the world. Probably. I don't think the Royals would trade him. He's their franchise there. Nobody said coaching didn't matter. Yeah, apparently the Yankees are linked to McMahon again. So apparently they're linked to McMahon again. So we'll see what happens here, right? Well, I'll be watching it. So yeah, Bishop's going to be a free agent. Yep, there's going to be a lot of closers who are going to be free agents. So yeah, it's too. I think I think it's too early to entertain that right now. The threat to go to. I think it's too early for that. That's just me, though. That's just me. Kind of hard to judge a team in July when they're not going to look the same way in August and September. Mm. Cowboys, yeah, boy. When it comes to a lot of the fans, yeah, the Tigers are legit. Yes, they are. Right, Jocelyn? It's if you get McMahon, I mean, he's not my first choice anyway, but you got to get one of those relievers from the Rockies. Absolutely have to. Jays are linked to Alcantara. So are the Cubs. So are the Cubs. Oh, it's all good, Pat. Yeah. I generally like to break up the fights. We don't like picking fights here. People can just be typewriter tough guys, right? Doesn't, we don't get phased. We run. Exactly, Matt. Exactly. We don't get phased or angry. There are other channels for propaganda. There are other channels for hate and for trashing people. That's their motto. That's totally fine. Like to they be a little bit more level headed here. Like it doesn't mean people can't vent. People are always welcome to vent, but we like to live in the factuals. You know. We just think, yeah, but right now, I mean, it doesn't. If that makes you feel better, you could say that, but I don't really. I don't see the point because their roster is going to look different after the deadline. So that's when I'll start saying stuff. We definitely are an extended family. Yes, we do. Yes, we are. Did I pull the trigger on Kenley? You can add him, but not as the like if I wouldn't choose him over Mason Miller. I wouldn't choose him over Jake Bird. I wouldn't choose him over Joan Duran. But he's playoff tested. He's a future Hall of Famer. So if you can get him and add to the bullpen, I would consider it. I don't really care what he says. Hold up. He does hold the players accountable. He doesn't know anything over there. Okay. What do you expect him to beat his players on live TV? Did you see him kind of what do you call it, scolding JC Escar the other day in the dugout? Like, hold players accountable. What does he mean by that? Please have him enlighten us, since he's a scholar, since he knows so much, right? Since he's connected. What does he mean by that? Saying you need to hold people accountable, and other people, I know people watch him, and people bring the narrative here, and nobody can explain what hold them accountable means because he can't explain it. Yeah, we hate seeing the Yankees like this too, MT. There's no doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Supplement to the bullpen, sure. I'm okay with that. Schmidt was pulled because he had a forearm problem. He's getting an MRI tomorrow. Yeah. Benching Volpe is okay, but who are they going to play in his place? I mean, it's got to be. Is it going to be Peraza? They're going to have to decide who to play in his place. I mean, they did sign an infielder today. Maybe that was why, right? But he doesn't bench guys that make errors. Really? So you're going to bench everybody on the team? Does he play the game? You're seeing? I saw Griffin Herring had another a good outing. I did see that. Somebody came on was peddling this baloney the other day that Joe Torre used to fine players $5,000 every time they struck out, which I know is a bull-faced lie. Could you imagine that striking out? So if you struck out 100 times, you're gonna get fined $500,000. Like some of the things that we see, are crazy. We need a better third baseman so that they can move Jazz to second. With Jazz, like I said, when he plays second, Volpe's better. When he plays third, Volpe's not. So they need a third baseman here who can stay on that side so Jazz can stay at second and give Volpe a little bit more protection that he needs. So especially since they're not benching him. If they're not going to bench him, they're going to have to protect him. Okay, you want your fundamentals, there you go. This is a way to improve the fundamental component of the game. The fundamental seems to be residing just in the infield, not in the outfield. We don't really see much bad play in the outfield, do we? It's mostly residing in the infield, right? I would wait probably until September, call up until the roster expands for Spencer Jones. I don't know, Matt. We don't have a World Series still. It's really not my call. It really isn't my call. So going back to the fundamental thing, you bench Volpe, right, for making an error. Who do you replace him with? Right? And if you trade Peraza, who are you going to replace him with? Because Peraza is on the market. So how does that work? This is a constant talking point about accountability and fundamentals, but there's never any detail that goes along with it. Has anybody noticed that? Constantly, it's being brought up. They're not fundamental, right? They're not holding it. He's not holding players accountable. Yet no specifics are provided. None as to what to do. Yeah, we're gonna need luck against the Mets, no doubt. Joe Brown. The Dodgers said, "Yeah, I heard it. I heard. What's his name? Say that. Is it Joe Kelly? Is it Joe Kelly? They lacked fundamentals in that one inning there, and if they want to base that argument off of one inning, and this is what the other channel content creators are going to go with, they're going to need more than that. They're going to need more than that. Sends a message. What sends a message that it's not okay? What sends a message? You mean benching Volpe for Peraza? I would sit Volpe for a couple of days, but what's again? Is that going to help? That can help his fundamentals, sitting him, and he's not going to be better than Peraza in those couple of days that he's sitting. Peraza's already better defensively. We know that. You know, well, this is the other thing too, M. Black. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, the hard nosed players generally aren't developed. They're hard nosed, right? And that's one of the things that makes them special. It's one of the things that makes them unique. That's the toughness isn't really a trait that's developed. It's a trait that's already intrinsic within us. You know? Yeah, yeah. Hank Bauer was tough, man. Yes, he was. Well, benching Volpe, playing Peraza for a couple games, how does that tell the team to get their crap together? Because this whole fundamental argument seems to be revolving around one guy, Anthony Volpe, right? Who else they're revolving around? Volpe's the punching bag right now, right? He's the target. He's the bullseye, right? Is he the guy that the whole fundamental argument's based on? Yeah, it was Joe Kelly, right? Yeah. Yeah, rest in peace, Michael Madsen, man. Rest in peace, man. Yeah, Dodgers have their own worries, Jocelyn. You're right about that. Dodgers have their own worries too. Just because they sign everybody in the world doesn't mean they're going to repeat as World Series champions either. No. Uh, well, the problem with that, J. Rev, in my opinion, is you can call it Pereira, but if the goal is to release Peraza, you're moving on from an infielder to bring in an outfielder. The outfielder is going to have to replace an outfielder. So what outfielder would you be sitting? Would you be sitting for Pereira? For Pereira, that's my question. Yeah, we need a third baseman, and our pen is depleted and injured. Right? Torres was the punching bag. And I'll say this now: people who are trashing Volpe right now are also going to be trashing George Lombard if he comes up and struggles. Just know that now. There are people who just have nothing better to do than just find the person to trash. Right? They offer no solutions at all, just talking points. None, right? I'll say that right now. A lot of these same people will be trashing George Lombard if he struggles too when he comes up. Well, I don't disagree with Palvis. I think you're right. We're missing Cabrera quite a bit. Get your rest, Jonathan. I'm gonna wrap this up in a minute too. I'm gonna go upstairs and get some rest myself. Of course, Nick Totoro. Of course, yeah. Of course, he said because he's a Yankee genius too. Cashman Boone V Far, and people are gonna go with that because I know people like to listen to him. They like to listen to Sal Licata from the WFAN and blah blah blah. Right? Yeah, exactly, Maniac. Yeah. What's the best channel? What's the best one, Maniac? Are you one of their little trolls? I'm not arguing with Volpe's batting average. I wish it would be better too. You're right about that. Lombard is definitely not ready. Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, you bring up Pereira, you screwed Dominguez. Exactly. So, like, if the goal is to get rid of Peraza, I would just try to trade him, and then at that point, you can call up this kid Nicky Lopez. You can give Vivas a shot. You can do something like that. You know, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Andrew Velasquez is still here too. That's right. Yeah. Huh. Yep. 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 Yeah. Volpe does look overwhelmed sometimes, overmatched sometimes. Not overwhelmed, overmatched. Yes. I mean, I don't listen to Sal. It's a waste of time listening to. A waste of time. I don't listen to WFAN at all. Yeah. Block function. Yeah. I hear that, Clemenza. Yeah. Reacquaint. Yeah. Yeah. When I trade for Cabrera and Perez, if I were to trade for something, I mean, I would try to trade for Nardi and Henriquez, the couple of relievers from the Marlins. But Edward Cabrera might be an option too as a starting pitcher. So yeah, we'll see if I know people really want us to will them into sending down Volpe or benching Volpe. If it happens, it happens. But until then, see the point in arguing about it. Get just 13,000. Nice work, Stephen B. Nice work, baby. And Matt, man, always a pleasure to do. It's good to have this back and forth. It's good to have right the different views put out. And on occasion, you get the little trolls. Yeah, and we know who sends the trolls over. So they've been doing it for years. Such weakness. But yeah, have a great holiday too. Happy 4th to all of yous. Eat nice work, Stephen B. Get that lost 8 pounds. Good work. In this weather, man. Yeah, it's definitely weight loss weather, man. Good work. Peraza could go down. Yeah, I mean, look, we might lose Schmidt now. We might lose Schmidt as well. I know the porn trolls. I think have they all been blocked? The porn trolls. Same thing with you, Palace. Maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. I'm ashamed of the country today, but maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. If the Guardians put Ramirez on the block, everybody's going to call them. Everybody's going to call for that dude. My gosh. Schlittler might be called up, and they might give Alan Winans another shot too. So we'll see. Yeah, today they're cheering after they prayed to kick 17 million people off healthcare. Very Christian of them to do that. Mason Miller, you can get him. He won't be cheap, but he's a guy, John Duran. Like, man, could you imagine getting Miller and Duran or Miller and Classe? Like, oh my God. Oh. Know about what a shoe sealer. It's the first I've heard it. Would Schmidt have a forearm tightness or something? Well, exactly, too, Clemens. Yeah, not every year is going to be 98. 98 was a magical year. Yeah, well, that's the thing, too. I mean, yeah. There are teams that are going to offer multiple top 100 prospects for Dominguez. I mean, not Dominguez, for freaking Ramirez, excuse me. The bill passed. It's a terrible bill, David. Any bill that takes food away from kids and knocks 17 million people off healthcare just to give more tax cuts to wealthy people who don't need them is a terrible bill. And it's laden with lies. They said they weren't going to touch Medicare and Medicaid. They lied. That's why they don't want the CBO to score it. So, nevertheless, it's a terrible bill. Terrible. Yeah. Well, somebody asked me what I thought about the bill because it was signed today. And this really is not about politics. This is about decency and humanity. It really is. I mean, everybody knows who did it. So there's nothing, you know. Oh yeah, that's their intention to put this in place. I mean, they're not here to make people's lives better, but it is what it is. We're not going to mention names, right? And anything like that. People know. People know. So the recovery from tight form has been tough over the last 6 starts. Okay, good. I never had maybe okay. You can't executive order it, unfortunately. So, well, fortunately, actually, anything that's a funding bill has to be run through Congress. You can't executive order it. So that is part of the whatever process, constitutional process. But if there's a chance that Clark Schmidt might be down for a while, and again, we're just hoping that forearm does not turn into elbow and UCL because that means Tommy John. We will just see. General feeling about this, same in both New York and Cali. Kinda Cohen, yeah. Emperor Palpatine. Exactly, Comenza. Good to see you too, Zila. Always a pleasure, man. Yeah, New York and California, man. Oh boy. Yeah, but yeah. Oh well. Nothing you can do about it now. But nothing about the sweep either. We need to like. I hope we wake up tomorrow and then Brian Cashman has made a trade. We have the highest taxes because we subsidize those other states. Uh, yeah, Pope Leo. Yeah, he's a White Sox fan. I know. He's a good dude. Yes, it does, Lawrence. This is about decency, man. But People are making politics out of it. They're definitely turning it political, but you know, hats and Big Macs. Oh, good lord, autographing hats and Big Mac. Oh, good lord. On the phone. Yeah, I don't think. I think Cashman's going to be on the phone tomorrow, and starting pitching is going to be so expensive. Relief pitching is going to be so expensive at the deadline. So it's going to be. You're going to. The Yankees are going to have to give up some valuable pieces to get the players that they want. Just know this now. They're going to have to have no choice. No. Oh, religion. Yeah, I don't even talk religion, man. Such a toxic conversation. Yeah. Yeah, he will. Yeah. All I know is I didn't vote for it. I never would. So, but that's just me. But we got our asses kicked. We got swept. We're out of first place. Got to get through this, man. We got to figure out how to get out of this freaking hell that we're in. Because the fact of the matter is, we're in hell. So, out of first place hell. It's not last place hell, but it's out of first place hell. No. I think Peraza will probably bring back some kind of prospect in the trade Clemenza. Probably. Some type of prospect. I don't think we'll get anything more out of that, but I think they would rather trade him than just let him go for nothing. Hmm. The Yankees locker room. Cemetery. Probably the nicest locker room you've ever seen. It's beautiful. The locker room is. I mean, the locker room is huge. No, man, that's why we need. That's why I think it would be good to bat Dominguez right now behind Judge. Like Dominguez and Jazz and Bellinger, like those are the probably three most consistent hitters right now. I would bat those guys right after Judge, 4, 5, and 6, right? And then after that, Stanton, and then whoever else after that. Wells 8, Volpe 9, or whatever the hell it is. You know, yeah. Need a Pacino give any given you do, man. Yeah. Like this is the time I think to put the hot bats right behind Judge. Make it hard for these pitchers to intentionally walk Judge. Like, do you really want to intentionally walk him when you have all these other guys batting behind him? And what if the guy before Judge is on base and walk too? Like, got to make it as hard as possible for these people. So I hope they, yeah, Jocelyn, exactly. Wake our asses up and snap our asses out of this. 100%. Believe you with that. Go have a great night, everybody. Get some rest. Let's shake it off. Tomorrow's another day. We got to make some freaking moves. Brian Cashman, get your ass on the phone. Don't hang up until you get somebody over here. Have a good night, everybody. Peace and love to all of you. See you tomorrow.